So episode 25. So the boys gathered to chit chat, saying like who did the most, and they all agreed like Huda went a little bit overboard. Ace agrees like yeah, she went a bit overboard, but also let's talk about Chelley. Chelley also doubled back to go back to Chris. So it's kind of the same thing. She did too much. And Nick was like, yeah, we can say it's all a challenge, but it's actually not. There's like a limitation to the challenge. And he's basically like, I was a bit thrown off with Elon. It's like Elon came in like a day ago. Like I don't really care why he's so intimidated by Elon. Maybe because people say they look alike. They don't look alike. They just kind of have the same vibe, same hair, but they don't look the same to me. He's probably feeling like he's going to be vulnerable in the next recoupling. That's the only answer to this because I don't understand where this energy, unnecessary energy, is coming from. Taylor is weird to me because entertaining Olandra, clearly you don't like her, but you're entertaining the idea that she likes you. He was complimenting saying that, yeah, you did your thing in that challenge, but I just wanted to respect him to Clark, so I didn't really do anything with you in the challenge. And Olandra is like, yeah, she gets it. And Orlando basically that she's basically thrown off, like everybody's thrown off that, you could have the connection in 3 days in comparison to us. You changed it up because the voice held Clark is different. It's just like my head says pick you, but my gut is telling me to pick Clark. So I just went in my gut because there's a feeling that I have a Clark that, I never had with you. Orlando should go down and bring that he don't like you. He told Clark that it's hard to she picked her, but he can't change it up with Orlando saying that he's got. Now that the Nick Orlando thing is over, I can get back to not liking Nick. He calls Elon and says he's pissed off. First thing that pissed him off is the fact that, they were coupled up together in capsize. Like they had no choice. Like they had no choice. You would have coupled up with Jaden if she was stood up for you. And then he said the next thing that pissed him off is, he was doing too much with Sierra and the challenge when it clearly knows they have a strong relationship. F it. And Elon was like, Sarah told me she's open to get to know me. So, yeah. Then Nick continues on to be petty. He's basically like, when I made her breakfast, you basically say you weren't going to make her breakfast. And later on, you made her breakfast. And it's basically like, yeah, I didn't want to make her breakfast. But then later on, I changed my mind because I always made her breakfast and cost more. So it's like, why not? Like, I just want to do a cute thing for her. Like it's giving like intimidation. It was unnecessary. It's embarrassing because you're clearly giving Elon, that vibe that he's that guy, that he has a chance to take your woman. It's giving game. It's giving game to me. So Shirley and Ace speak, and Shirley's like, I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with Huda. Ace was enjoying it. Ace was like, I know it gave up them enjoying it, but I just went along with it. You do your guy. Huda give you the opportunity, so why not? He basically says, if we're going to talk about this Huda thing, let's also hold you accountable. So he basically said, it was hard for me to watch you with Chris because you went back the second time. He's basically like, the whole kissing thing, like there was nothing there. She wasn't trying to prove anything. She downplays it a lot because why would you go and kiss the guy twice? I don't get it. Ace is smart. Like, not one thing I'm not gonna say he's a smart guy. He's basically like, ain't no way you did not do that intentionally. Everything you do is intentional. Basically, clear as day, like, Chelley, you're a bit of a hypocrite. Let's call it for what it is. You wanted to kiss, you liked him, you kissed him, you enjoyed the kissing, you want to do more. It's like, if I'm not going to get to do this outside of the challenge, let me go all in with the challenge. So Landra is sitting down, eating her food, and Huda comes in with a toasty, just being quiet, and then I knew she was going to say something. She was like, am I a terrible person? And Alondra was like, you're not a terrible person, but you kind of did a little too much. Then, Huda was about to cry. Then Alondra was like, yeah, I'm going to come back with my toasty. She's like, not today, Huda, not today. So she walks off. It's giving she's playing victim. Girl, you know what you did. Because if you do know what you did, you're going to be saying that I'm a terrible person. It's like, you know what you did wrong, but then you're trying to look for other people to kind of justify that, oh, you didn't mean to, all these things. You're not a bad person. It's like, yeah, we can see what you're trying to do. So the next day, Huda complained about pancakes because Chris basically made 2 pancakes for Chelley, gave her a flower, but Huda, you only gave her 1 pancake. So she's questioning that what's going on here. Like you're clearly showing favoritism. Basically also say that she believes that Chelley's angry with her because she thinks that she stole her man. She's basically referring to Chris from Casa. So maybe that's part of what's making her pissed off. So Sierra, Orlando, and Chelley, they kind of sit down, speak. So Sierra's like, what's the next game plan? Orlando, she's gonna get to explore the people. So she basically mentions 3 guys. She's like Austin, Zach, Brian, they're kind of open, so get to know them. Why didn't she talk about Elon? She didn't want to talk about Elon because Elon's basically Nick 2.0. So it's gonna make her feel weird. Because she should have mentioned Elon. Elon two's open. And Chelley is a weird person. It's like, are you really friends with Orlando? Do you really want good things to happen to her? Do you really want it to succeed? So she's basically like, we're missing someone. You're missing Taylor. And then I'm feeling like, what the heck? After Orlando just faced that humiliation ritual 2 days ago, he wants her to still be exploring Taylor. And that's when like they got a text because Olivia was like, how do you feel about that? But they got a text after that. They got a text, Nick and so Nick basically Nick and Sarah are going on a date, which I don't care about. But in the date, Nick is like, this is his ideal day. Like, it seems like a dream, and he never thought it would happen. And then Sarah replies, "So are you saying like I'm your dream girl?" And he was like, "Mm-hmm."
Are you saying I'm your dream girl? Basically.
It was like, why born his mom? He didn't look at her to say, "Yes, you're my dream girl. You're everything I want." All these things. No, no, he didn't say that. And she basically mentioned the whole, kiss with Alondra thing. She basically says it makes her feel uncomfortable. She felt like it was a bit unnecessary. And he basically apologized and said kind of made him to realize how much he does like Sierra. And yeah, it's clear that Sierra definitely likes Nick more. And I'm really confused because I knew that he was going to close things off. He's been waiting to close things off after the Elon situation. So Huda basically mentions to Chris about the whole pancake thing. She was like, it's giving favoritism, and he basically apologizes. And then she was like, with the whole, and she cries about the whole Chelley situation. And she was like, maybe it would make things better if she was ugly. And Chris was like, no, that she didn't do anything wrong. That it was just a sexy thing that happened in challenge, and people are taking it as a big deal. It's like Huda, yeah. Who don't know what she did? She knows Ace likes her. She knows that she's Ace's type. So the fact that she picked him is just to create some drama. It's just to show that she's not a girl's girl. She just did it to satisfy herself. It's because she looks so good. That's why all these things are happening to her. Like, she's just so good looking. So Orlando and Chelley speak, and then Orlando says she's going to get to know Zach K. Like, it's not a big deal because Zach K did pick her in Castle Moore. First he picked Chelley, but then Chelley picked Chris. They went to Orlando. So there is a thing there. If Orlando didn't call it off in Castle Moore, clearly Zach was gonna couple up with Orlandria, but she gave him no choice, so she had to go. He had to go with Amaya. Like, that's the only person giving him something, and Amaya needed someone to stay in the villa. So it's like a win-win, but it's also like now that Orlandria is open, Zach can get to know Orlandria. But it's just like Orlandria let Amaya know that because he gave that same respect to you. If Zach likes Amaya, he'll be with Amaya. If he likes Olandra, let him be with Olandra. Nobody really have great connection here, so there's no point of faking it. At this point, there's no point of faking it. If you don't like Amaya, F off, go to Olandria, just be with someone that you like. So we can just close the season because I'm actually tired. So Chelley and Ace speak, and she basically says she still sees the whole Huda thing as disrespectful, and there needs to be boundaries. And she basically like, yeah, I kissed Chris, but it wasn't a big deal. I just give him a kiss, 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 and called it a day. It's giving hypocrisy. Because she was like, in comparison to Ace and Huda, like, they were kissing with so much compassion, and Ace was kissing all the girls around. Like, she's basically like, you can't compare me kissing all these girls in comparison to you passionately kissing Chris, kissing him twice, whom you have a connection with. And he basically tells Chelley that, it feels like we should be closed off, like we're getting to a place where we should be closed off. But with this whole situation going on, it's throwing me off. I don't think so. So this part is a little bit funny because Chris is talking to Amaya, it's kind of in the background. First was at the, touching the couch, then it goes off beside them, fixing cushions. It's like, what are you doing? He's trying to act as an insect that nobody can see him because it's really funny. He's just trying to gather information. So I feel like both Chris and Elon, they planned this. So he basically asks, so how's everything with Zach? And she's basically like, she's questioning his intention because he doesn't see Zach is not pulling her, he's not pulling other girls for chats, so he's just hanging out with friends. It's just like, why are you really here? Elon goes up to Zach and says, I overheard like saying that, she don't see you pulling her, she don't see you pulling anyone for chats. Like, what are your intentions? It's giving messy. It's trying to be messy. I can see it, but I don't mind it. So Ace basically speaks to Taylor saying that he's not feeling confident anymore. Like, did he make the right decision sending Coco home? I'm tired of him kind of like, it's like you send Coco home, don't mention her name again. Like, keep her name out of your mouth. You picked Chelley for a reason. You had a strong connection. It was basically saying is like, Chelley's playing my game. Chelley's playing my game, and I can't deal with this. Because if Coco was in the villa, if someone else picked Coco, he's going to be playing the exact same game Chelley's playing. But Chelley's playing that game, and he's not liking it. So that's what it means. So just keep Coco's name out of your mouth because you're just going to use her anyway. Sarah and Nick home, I don't really care for them. They announced that they're closed off. So Elon pulls Amaya for a chat. Okay, Elon's plan is working. It's working. Elon is pulling in the work. Survivor is getting ready. Zach basically says like, things are getting good. Things are good with Amaya, but things are getting sour and sour. It's like, what really happened between them? I don't know. But if you're not into Amaya, you can just cut things off. Like, there's no point of faking connections. Then while the girls are getting ready, Amaya's like, everybody's still open, and they're basically like, yeah. And then Huda's like, I like the pace that me and Chris are going. Then the face that Chelley made, like, it was a bit weird. He's like, girl, don't play on my face. Andrea calls Pepe for a chat, basically says, are you open to getting to know me? And, Pepe's like, sorry, I'm gonna stick with Grace. He's like, he's not into all this triangle, all this on and off kind of thing. He's just gonna stick with one girl and get to know her. That was a humbling experience for Adriana. Zach and Alandria, so they speak, they're vibing, they're enjoying their conversation, and he basically says, he's keeping his distance from Amaya today. And then after that, he gives an example that, in a relationship, he doesn't like when him and his partner, for example, in a dinner party with the family, and then she crashes out. He prefers they go home and they talk about it. So maybe I believe that's reflecting on Amaya, kind of about to crash out for Landria when the whole Taylor thing happened. So it seems like he's not into that kind of thing. But it's like, okay, like if you're not into Maya, let her know. So Clark and Taylor, Clark basically asked me, are you still getting to know Landria? He's basically like, yeah, he's still gonna get to know her, but he did let Landria know that he has a thing. He basically has a feeling with Clark that he doesn't have with Olandria. And he basically says he feels comfortable with her. He feels like he does not be serious all the time. Like Taylor likes Clark. Like Olandria is just background noise for Taylor. He's into Clark. Period. Chelley, Chris just background was for her. Chelley and Sarah they speak, and Chelley said, "I still feel the same way I felt yesterday today. Like, I know who doesn't gonna call me to apologize. Like, I'm not here. Like, okay, no problem. But she's like, we can't be friends. We can just keep things simple. That she can't be friends with someone like that, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to be friends with everybody in the middle." She said right now she needs space. She doesn't want to talk to Chris. She doesn't want to talk to Huda. She doesn't want to talk to Ace. It's like, okay, girl. Because at the same time, Chris already said like he's going to step back from Chelley. So you don't need to worry about Chris. Get straight to the questions. She basically asked like, what's your type? And he was like he doesn't have a type, but he seems to attract emotionally unstable women. It's like, okay, there you go. You have an unstable woman right in front of you. But Huda laughed. She laughed, clearly knowing in her head that yeah, you've attracted the right person. And then she's like, yeah, I don't, and he's like, I don't think you are. And she's like, yeah, like, I'm not an emotionally unstable person. The side I was giving Huda, the side, girl, darn well.